Hello, everybody, and welcome to Say Report Jr., a podcast you should be listening to, subscribe to, and downloading every week. I am one of your companions, just a companion this week. I'm not a host, I'm just your companion, your friendly neighborhood companion, Dale Decker.
And I'm the other companion, Zach Sarowik. I didn't do anything that time,
Nope,
everybody. I did nothing.
that was just me, fumbling over the words and rolling with it.
Ugh.
That's what I do. That's what I live for. I don't know what these references are. Anyways.
Is it getting to the point where once you say something original and he's just like, wait a second, what am I referencing?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Exactly.
I'm not referencing something.
It's crazy. Every other phrase I say must be a reference. But yeah, how have you been, Zach?
I've been good.
That's good.
Oh, I just remembered something,
Oh,
which is great because I was worried I wouldn't have very much to talk about this episode, but I
mean,
do.
I feel like we have a good amount to talk about. We've got some movies that we need to share our opinion on. I need to talk about Taylor Lautner, like just real quick.
Okay.
But
Remind me who that one is again. Is that...
who Taylor Lautner is?
Yeah.
He's Edward from the Twilight
that is
series.
The wolf boy.
The
Okay.
Wolf Boy. Yeah.
Okay.
He's. I could just go. It's quick. I think I've mentioned this show before in passing. But I've been watching the British television show called Cuckoo, however you want to say it.
I don't think I realized that was a British show.
Yeah, it's British, but you know, there's one American actor in it.
And it's just like Twilight. He brings the whole thing up.
Well, no. So the first season, it's Andy Samberg, right? And when I started watching the show, I was like, okay, cool, Andy Samberg, fine. But all of the promos, like the picture, the trailers, everything that like accidentally plays when you turn on Netflix.
Yeah.
Was showing Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, you're confusing me right now, so this is interesting.
Yeah, so the entire first season is Andy Samberg, and the woman who the actress who plays the character Rachel. I don't know her name. I did not get her name, but pretty much the second season. I'm not going to tell you why or how, but Andy Samberg is no longer in the show. And is instead replaced by Taylor Lautner. And
Did they pull a weird Kevin Can Wait where they just randomly killed him and brought someone else on thinking it would somehow be better?
I'm not gonna tell you exactly what happened. I mean, I could spoil it. Who's gonna watch Cuckoo?
I like to think the reality of this situation is he started on Brooklyn Nine-Nine that year, and and he couldn't be on this show anymore. I feel like that's the real reason.
Yeah, because I don't even know what year Cuckoo. Like, I should have looked into this, but I've been so engrossed in it that I haven't even checked up on any of that because I don't know when it started. I want to say it started in like, I don't know, 2012 or something, but I feel like I'm wrong. But anyway, yes. Okay, so. Spoilers for Cuckoo. You can skip ahead if you want to not hear this.
Those hot spoilers for Cuckoo.
Yes. So basically, the opening of the second season is Cuckoo is or a person is on an expedition in what seems to be Antarctica, and they fall off a cliff and are lost, quote unquote lost. And then later, like 5 seconds later, it is the Ken is the dad's name, and then Rachel, who I mentioned before, and it's revealed that Cuckoo was killed. And then fast forward like 2 years, I think, and Taylor Lautner shows up. And Rachel is played by a different actress and is now in another relationship with a really boring guy. Which if I haven't talked about it, Cuckoo is about a guy who is very spiritual. He is very like monk-like. He is, Buddhist, and I think he's Buddhist. I don't know. He's, very free. He's a free spirit who like marries a really, defined British woman, English woman, and when they come on her gap year, and when they come home, she is also now this like free spirit, and her mother loves it, and her dad is like, this is ridiculous. So anyways, Taylor Lautner shows up and is like, hey, I'm Cuckoo's son.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say that he was going
No.
he was going to claim to be Cuckoo, and this
No.
entire season was going to be him like trying to con these people or something.
That is what I thought. I thought that he was going to show up and be like, yeah, they found my body. They were able to reconstruct my face, and now I look like this. And that's 100% what I thought it was going to be. But no, he is his son because Cuckoo had sex when he was 13 on some camping trip with some I don't even remember some tribal some person, I don't know, some native.
So almost
human.
like it's That's My Boy with Andy Samberg and Adam Sandler.
Kind of.
Almost the same
but
story.
Yeah, kind of similar. Yeah, similar. But so Taylor Lautner is, I forgot how much of a hidden gem he is because he was raised on an ashram in a cult, and he escapes the cult because fulfill his one last wish of meeting his father, because the next day is the quote-unquote judgment day where the aliens are going to come and pick him up, and then he'll have, endless orgies for the rest of his life with these alien, women. That is what he believes is going to happen. And the next day happens, and it doesn't. No aliens show up. And so his whole world is like kind of crumbles down. But they agree to let him stay with them. The family agrees to let him stay with them. And he for the first couple of episodes, or the second episode, he finds 2 more quote unquote cults and doesn't know the whole deal with them. And he's just really naive and really innocent. And it's just the funniest thing to watch Taylor Lautner do. Be this dumb, innocent child.
That's like when Zac Efron made his comedy jump after from Disney Channel star to I'm going to do a bunch of sappy love story movies, and then all of a sudden it was, oh, and also I'm making Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates and Baywatch.
Yep. Yeah. So it's really interesting, especially since when I was a kid, the Taylor Lautner that I know is Shark Boy.
God, I keep forgetting he's Shark Boy.
And he's great as Shark Boy because he's a little jerk.
He's also a fifth the size of his it's adult self at this point.
Yeah. And then I knew him as Jacob. He plays Jacob. I called him Edward earlier.
I agreed because I've never watched, seen, or read Twilight in any way.
So he plays Jacob in the Twilight series, and I loved him in that because he's Taylor Lautner, but also because he was a good actor. But it's just, seeing him be funny, and he has this laugh that is kind of his name is Dayle in the show, which also that's funny to me. Anytime I see
oh God, please tell me he spells it the same way.
No, that'd be
Damn.
fantastic. I would love that. But no, he does not spell it the same way. But he has this quintessential trademark Dayle kind of laugh where when he finds something out or thinks something is funny, he'll go it is the most infectious laugh. It is so high pitched. Just picture Taylor Lautner
with a
high pitched laugh that is 9 octaves way higher than than you think it should be. And that's what you have. And it's fantastic. So yeah, that's, I just want to remind the world that Taylor Lautner is out there, and he is a good actor.
And he's He's gonna get out from under that Twilight crap eventually.
Yeah. I mean, he did a movie after I don't remember the name of it, but he like was on the run or something and it was I just remember the poster was him like parkouring over buildings.
Yeah, he tried the action star
Yeah.
thing like right away, and they were like, I don't
The
know.
last episode the last episode that I watched today was he so on the ashram they never got to have internet and well actually for every minute of internet they did or took they had to whip themselves 30 times so
Oh my God.
yeah
I mean, to be
so
fair, that's what it feels like to just use the internet.
yeah so he like watches the video and then he starts whipping himself and everybody starts freaking out and then for the rest of the episode he keeps referencing videos that he's watched because he realizes he could just do it now. And there's a part where they're trying to break into a place, break into an office building, and he's like, "I've watched a ton of parkour videos today. I got this." And he starts out really good, and then he goes to jump up on the fence and just face plants. And it's like, this is the Taylor Lautner I've always wanted. Because, oh my God. I know you can make that jump, but you are a comedian now. Good for
Good.
you.
I mean, it's good for him to like find something, even especially like England
Yeah,
is just like a weird place because they'll put anything on TV for like a couple of years and try it out.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's funny. I don't know. I highly recommend Cuckoo to anybody who needs a Netflix show between all of the ones that already exist.
yeah,
So that's like my little thing before we get into the, the spoilers, the big stuff. I was gonna say meat and potatoes, but I didn't want to use Devin's phrase.
I don't think Devin does not own meat and potatoes.
I know, but like he says it on the show a lot, so I don't want to say it on our show.
We're different,
much.
damn it.
We're different. We're the junior.
Well, let this junior tell you about how two drunk women accosted him at the bar at the draft house last week.
Oh my God, I'm excited for this story.
So I go out to Alamo Draft House, go to see Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Into the Spider-Verse. Great combination, by the way. Just like good, wholesome family fun. But in between that, I go to sit at the bar because I got like an hour between the two movies. I'm having a drink. And I can hear these two women sitting next to me, and I actually thought only one of them was overly tipsy because she was the only one I could hear. I learned very quickly I was wrong, but
you gotta be careful.
I just
those
hear her
silent
going
drunks.
because I hear her talking to her friend, and she just keeps saying, "We're gonna make Karen and Rachel a label." I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" Whatever. Maybe they're. Oh, I don't know. But then she says it again, and then again, and then again, and I realize, oh, she's stuck in a drunk loop of like. There's a thought going on in her head that is not going away because we are in this public bar.
Oh my God.
Also, both of these women were like in their 50s. That's the other part of this. It's like this is not like two sorority girls or something sitting next to me or anything like that. Like this is like two adult women all of a sudden are just like just more and more drinks. And largely ignore them. Everything's fine. I'm having my drink. I'm getting ready to pay my tab so I can go and get into the next movie. And all of a sudden, one of them puts a Santa hat down in front of me on the bar. Now, a lot of people are walking around in Santa hats. They were giving them out as like part of it was just like a giveaway thing they were doing. So I didn't really realize who it was putting the thing down in front of me. But I just assumed that people were just like passing these things out. So I looked at it and I picked it up, and the next thing I know, this woman's got her arms around my shoulder, and she's like, "Could you do me a favor and put this on, and then we need to get a picture?" And I was like, "Picture of what?" Oh God. Yeah, sure, whatever. Because I kind of thought she meant me take the picture of them.
Yeah.
Which is that I thought I was agreeing to, and I figured the hat thing was just I don't know. They're drunk and they want me to wear a hat.
Yeah. Something they
not the weirdest thing I've seen drunk people do.
Yeah.
So I put the hat on and I turn around and I realize no, she wants the picture with me and her friend is taking the pictures. And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, I need to get away from this situation now. How do I get away from this? Because on top of all of this, they're not like talking to me at this point. They've just kind of got me trapped in this like photo pose with their arms around me and they're talking to each other. And I am not really part of this anymore except to be there as furniture. It feels like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I'm just like, I'm trying to like figure out what words I'm supposed to use to get out of this situation. And they're just kind of talking to each other. And then I realize that they're talking at each other. I don't think either one is listening to the other. And the one holding the phone, I don't think is taking pictures. She's got the phone up in front of her face and it's kind of wavering back and forth.
Oh my.
And it doesn't look like she's trying to press a button in any way to take a photo. So, and I'm like, I can't, I don't know. What do how do I get out of this? Somebody help me with something. And then this like waiter pops up with like a bunch of food in their hand trying to get by. And woman standing in the way with the phone, waving in the air, doing nothing. And I'm sitting there like waving my hands at her, basically like,
Oh
hey,
my
there's a
god.
waiter trying to get by you. Hey, let me out, let me out. And like the second I felt like just a little bit of like loose
Freedom.
grip on my shoulder, I spun my chair around again and I like waved down the bartender. I'm like, I pay you. I want to pay you now. Can I pay you? I want to pay you.
Oh my god.
And then the woman starts trying to talk to me again, and I'm like, I actually have to get to a movie. I have movie time. I have to go to a
I have
movie.
to
The
go watch
thing.
Spider Verse.
Yeah,
Please,
like none of
please
this is
leave me
like
alone.
no coherent sentence is coming out of my mouth, which I think helped. I think small, short, simple words where I was just like, movie time, movie. I
Yeah.
have movie now. I have to go. Oh my God. And then I actually
That's
still had like the thing at Alamo is that they don't open up the theaters. They only open up the theaters 30 minutes before the showtime. So I
yeah.
actually had 15 extra minutes where I went and sat out in my car. And I was like, I just need to not be near people for about 15, 20 minutes here
What
and regroup.
did did she have her arms around you the entire time, like with the waiter, with the wavering phone, like the entire time?
Like her
No.
friend was standing there with the phone to take the pictures. And yes, this other woman is standing there next to me with an arm around my shoulder the whole time. And then basically starts talking to her friend again. I think forgetting that the whole reason she has her arm around me is that we were supposed to be taking a picture of some kind, and her friend clearly forgot that too.
Oh
Like,
my god! Please tell me that they then showed up in Spider Verse.
no, I was so terrified of that though. I was like, I'm going out to my car now to regroup, and I swear to God, if I go and sit down in Spider Verse and they're the ones sitting next to me, I am going to leave. I can't do this.
That's good, cause
Oh,
I had to run in with some drugged up woman in Spider Verse, and then showed up.
what is going on with this movie that it's attracting weirdos?
I
Uh,
don't know. Spiders,
it's a
multiverse,
multiverse crap going on.
multiverse crap. Oh
Oh
my god,
man.
that's hilarious. That is so funny to me. Why?
But yeah,
I'm
like that was
sorry that
like
happened.
I just like I couldn't even like for some reason in my head I was like, no, this would never happen at a bar in an Alamo Draft House. That makes no sense. This is a place where people come to
Who
see
gets
movies.
drunk at an
They're-
Alamo draft house?
I mean, I'm
Like
sure it
that drunk?
happens.
No,
Yeah.
like I understand getting tipsy before a movie to like maybe make the movie fun or but like the level of tipsy that you are describing right now is like we just got some time to kill. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the closest one. I haven't had a drink in about 5 minutes. Let's go.
Oh
Oh my
man.
god,
So
that was really
like
rude.
and that was like the middle of my whole day there, which was
Oh
the
my
weird thing. Like
god,
that was after Wreck-It Ralph and then before Spider-Verse.
that is so funny. So good.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, other than that, let's see, what else have I been doing? I've been trying to catch up on, I'm caught up on all the DC shows, all of my DC shows, the current ones that are still on. I'm not anywhere near done with like Smallville,
Yeah,
but
I'm behind on Supergirl.
I'm caught up on everything except I've got like 2 episodes left to catch up on with Legends of Tomorrow, which for some reason this last like 2 weeks I have just completely fallen down the rabbit hole in love with. And I think it's because like I mean, the thing with the big three with like Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl is they have like all of this dramatic stuff going on along with all of the action and all of that, which is all very good. I very much like it. But Legends of Tomorrow is like, and we're your dumbass cousins here to just kind of walk in
Beautiful.
and stumble through a situation and completely just we're like half of every episode is cleaning up whatever the mess was they made at the first half by accident. Like it was great. It's a great just dumb show of like just random characters just colliding into each other. They might as well just be walking into doors throughout the episode for all of like the slapstick humor that's going on. And also I appreciate the fact that like every season, I'm on season 4, there are only 3 characters from season 1 still regularly on the show.
Oh, really?
Like every season they are swapping people out like
That's
crazy.
hilarious.
So
That's so good.
but yeah, I'll probably have more to say on that another time when we don't have a bunch of Spider-Man stuff to talk about.
We just have a bunch of movie stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Um,
So we've both seen Wreck-It Ralph 2.
yes.
I enjoyed it. I liked where they took the story. I
Mhm.
liked the fact that it was very much like a friendship story, not a romance story.
Yeah.
I think Wreck-It Ralph works that way. Works really well that way. Like
Mhm.
you've got the whole romance plot with Felix and the commander.
Yeah.
Forget her name.
I
Is
don't
like
either.
in the background
Jane
and just
Lynch.
a thing that's happening. Yeah, Jane Lynch, Commander Jane. And I think it works being a small part of the background as opposed to being like the whole story.
Mhm.
So it would have been very easy for them to make Wreck-It Ralph 2 all about Ralph falling in love,
Yeah, which
which would have been terrible.
would have been awful. I might have walked out if that was what it was. No, Wreck-It Ralph. It was. I really enjoyed it way better than the first one.
I don't think
And
since it was in theaters, so I don't even like in my brain. I'm not even like comparing the two, which is
yes,
interesting.
which is actually kind of cool, but it's just like I'm sitting there, and the jokes that they repeated were if I mean there wasn't a lot that they repeated, but they were good. They were good jokes. But I just loved. Okay, so I have talked about how much I love the Emoji Movie,
Yes.
and this basically felt kind of like the Emoji Movie with characters that I already know and love. So it was fun to kind of to go on that journey again that I got from the Emoji Movie with Ralph and Vanellope. And the stuff that they did with the internet was gorgeous. How they designed it, what they made it look like, and all of that, like just it fit. It made sense. Like it makes sense that there are little square-headed people walking around the internet, like
As your like little avatar.
as your little
within,
avatar.
Yeah.
Yes. The whole like pseudo, YouTube aspect was great. Yes was a fantastic character. It just between Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet, I would 100 times like I'm more likely to grab Ralph Breaks the Internet before I go back to the first one, because it just felt like I don't know, it was more fun for me. I think.
Well, there's also like way less to get into this movie. They don't have to explain anything about the world like within the arcade or anything like that. Like that's a just under 2-hour movie, and in like less than 20 minutes is you've got like the setup for the story.
Mhm.
Let's go to the internet and fix it.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, and like you get this like you get these longer kind of acts in the story or like on the internet itself that hit so many different aspects of it, like starting with eBay and then going into a video game, an online video game, and then turning around and having all of the YouTube stuff at the end. It's like, yeah, these are all that's really it. You just hit the 3 big things people do on the internet.
Pretty
They
much.
shop, they play games, and then they watch a bunch of dumb videos. Like that's what people do.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
has to be part of the story you're telling.
Yeah. And the weirdest part of that movie is all the Disney, like the Disney.com or Disney, Oh My Disney,
Oh yeah.
like that site, going to that site. That was the weirdest part of the movie because it's a Disney movie and like we're just going to be meta for the only reason because we're Disney and we can. But that being said, that scene was really well done.
The one with all the princesses.
With all the princesses,
Yeah.
but also it's all of the voice actresses for the princesses, and the Groot portion, like actually Vin Diesel.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. According to what I saw, according to IMDb, like actually Vin Diesel. So like that is cool to me. That they were able to be like, hey, we want to record some more stuff with the character that you've been playing? Come on down. We got something for you.
I know you're in the middle of something with Endgame right now,
Yeah.
but if you could just come for like 2 seconds and literally say the same 3 words you always say into a microphone,
Yeah.
and then you can go right back to what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like that scene and being the weirdest and like kind of most like the more skin crawly part of that movie, still really, really, really well done. But yeah.
And I hope that they were making fun of themselves, like the entire like.
Yes,
It's a
too.
very easy joke to make, but it's not very easy for Disney to make it. Which is to have all of your princesses sitting around talking about the fact that they're like really bad feminist icons in a lot of ways, and there's like that end scene where it's like a strong man is in trouble, quick, let's go save him.
Yeah.
Like.
And the whole making
Like the fact that it came back, I think the fact that it came back helped. Like if that
Oh,
scene
yeah.
were by itself, it would have been funny, but just kind of one and done. The fact that they then become like the people who are like helping them save things at the end of the movie is, I think, the perfect way to back up the joke they were making in that scene.
Yeah, the payoff is the fact that it has a payoff is good. Yeah, I completely agree. And the fact that, you know, they put him in a Snow's dress to like parachute him down is great. The like, oh, it's so good. Yeah, and I really like that they also make fun of the whole stare at a body of water and then
important water
and sing about the thing that you most want in the world. And that song about
Slaughter Race.
That song is so good.
And it has to be because it's the only one. Like Ralph is not a musical.
Yep.
Both of these movies are not musicals, so to be like, we're gonna do it, we're gonna make fun of ourselves and do the big musical number. So you're damn right, we're gonna put it in a grimy, dingy GTA Online knockoff, and things are gonna be exploding.
Yeah. It was good. It was really, really enjoyable.
So, tell me, Dale, can you turn invisible right now? Do it right now? Right now.
You're not gonna know, so yes.
Oh, damn it!
Fired back at you.
You're supposed to say I can't do it on command.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not falling into that. I'm not falling into that when you can't see me.
Jake Johnson might be one of my favorite Peter Parkers now. That might be one of my favorite depictions of Peter Parker.
Oh my god, it was so good. Okay, before we get into Spider-Verse, can I share you the continuation of the sitcom that I lead?
Sure.
When it comes to movies.
That's right.
Because I really liked Spider-Verse. I really, really did. It was fun, very enjoyable, but I need to see it again. And the reason why I need to see it again is for 3 reasons. One, I went out to get soda, to refill the soda that we had, and in the lobby at the concession stand is a presumed mother. I assume she is their mother, but because she had 2 children with her. Could not be the case. Could have been their sister. Who knows? But a parental figure with 2 children are at the concession stand. And the parental figure is talking to the, son figure. And they're like fighting about cup sizes. Like soda cup sizes.
Yeah. I was really going to let that one hang, but yeah.
And
soda cup sizes.
I know. I was like, I just need to say it. Soda cup sizes, and I'm standing there like, can do I go? Can I get my soda? I just need a refill. And then she let me go, so that's fine. I'm like, cool, fine, whatever. So then I walk back into, I get my soda, and I'm like, fucking, that was weird. That was weird. That was not fun. But okay, let's go back into the theater. I go back into the theater, and they walk in. And
Oh,
I'm like,
happy day.
and I'm like, fuck. And I leaned over to Devin. I'm like, this lady was in the lobby and she was fighting with their kid. I don't know. She's got to be drugged up or something. She just seems drugged up. And what I should have said was, this lady seems. I didn't even say to him she seems drugged up, but I should have, because I should have said, this lady seems drugged up. This might not be a good situation. And we should have pulled the ripcord right then and there. I will take full responsibility for that. But I didn't because I wanted to see the movie, and I was like, I can't let this woman ruin this. I'm here. I want to see this. I need to see this because I need to talk about it with Zach. Like, Devin and I need to see this movie because we've waited too long. We need to see it. So I didn't say anything. I also didn't think to say anything. Like, I didn't think to say, I think this woman's drugged up. There was a lot going on in my head. So then a little girl right in front of me had a blinking sweatshirt on.
Oh, God.
Or a shirt. I think it was a sweatshirt. I'm not sure. I initially thought it was her shoes until Devin made a comment, and I was like, I think it's her shoes. And he said no. And then she stood up and turned around, and right there on the chest was a blinking light. And I'm like, why? So I had that going the whole movie, and then I had the drugged up woman commenting and laughing throughout the entire thing, like overreacting and delayed. So, yeah. So that happened. And then the third, and possibly those are two really, really bad things. Those are bad things. I'm sure Devin has stuff to say about them. You can look forward to that next week on Say Report. Hey, look at that. That was so seamless. Anyways.
Nothing more seamless than pointing it out.
That's just what I do here on the Say Report Jr. Anyways, so the possibly worst thing for me was, so we saw a 2D showing. This actually factors into it. We thought we were going to a 7:30 2D showing. When we went there to get the tickets, they said they didn't have a 7:30. It was only at 8. And I'm not sure if the 7:30 was 3D or if that just didn't exist as a showtime, but whatever. So we go to the 8 o'clock showing, and during the movie, there was a lot of soft focus.
Yes, there is. That is actually something I want to talk to you about, too.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, but you saw it 2D, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a lot of soft focus, and a lot of times where the 3D red and blue lines would show up.
Yes.
Okay. So then if that happened for you and you also saw a 2D showing.
Yes, because I noticed it in the trailers too. That is because the Miles Morales universe, the Miles Morales universe within is supposed to be modeled around the like comic book print style. So there is a lot in the background, unless there's generally there's like one thing in focus, and the rest gets increasingly out of focus the more you get away from that item.
Yeah, but
it did take me a lot of time to get used to.
It was soft focus that also didn't yes, I mean, backgrounds being out of focus, that makes sense. But there was a scene with Uncle Aaron where all of Aaron's body was soft focused, and it was just his head. I'm like, that looks weird. Is that what's supposed to be happening right now? What is happening? And it was really distracting, and I don't know if it's because it was distracting, but I also, the entire movie, I'm like, I feel like they're showing us the 3D print of this. I feel like they're showing us the 3D version of this, but they can't because nobody in here has 3D glasses on. And it wouldn't be the first time that that we went to go see a movie in 2D and all of a sudden the 3D version was playing.
Right.
That has
And
happened.
that's not to say that the rest of the people in the theater with you weren't having the same exact thought
Yes,
that you were
yeah,
having. Yeah.
exactly. And I get it. Like the animation of this movie was beautiful. I loved it. I thought it was beautifully done. Um, and yeah, the two red and blue lines of 3D, um, it felt different somehow from the rest of the animation. So that's why I was getting distracted by it, because I was that kid who went and saw the 3D movies back when it was the red and blue
Right.
lenses, who would take their glasses off and look at the red and blue lines.
Yeah, and I think there were times where they didn't
So,
employ they employed the soft focus stuff much more than they did the red and blue line thing. And so I
mm,
think the red and blue line part really stands out when it happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if it, it makes me happy that you also saw it, because then it means that, yeah, okay, we just saw the 2D version, and that was some of their artistic style.
Yeah, because that was
They're
definitely something I noticed in the trailers because I was like, oh God, I hope this is something I can get used to while I'm watching it so it's not,
mm,
hyper distracting. And luckily it was. Like eventually like
yeah,
I guess my brain kind of adjusted to, okay, just whatever is in focus is the thing you should be looking at. It's that don't even worry about what's not in focus
yeah,
because it's moving so
yeah,
quickly anyway.
yeah.
And it kind of, yeah.
And I
But
think there was just a lot going on during the viewing of Spider-Verse.
right. It also doesn't help that you
Eh,
were getting pulled out of the movie by a thousand things around
yeah,
you,
yeah.
which then like, yeah.
So, and again, I do take responsibility. We probably should have pulled the ripcord a little sooner and gone somewhere else. But, Anyways, that being said, I still really enjoyed the movie. I just need to see it again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I absolutely loved I like watching that. I could not believe that we got this movie and this story in the same year. We got the PS4 Spider-Man
yes.
story, which is like the perfect Peter Parker story. Like I think what was great was like just replaying the PS4 Spider-Man and then going into this like a month later.
Mm,
And so much of it is fresh in my head that I don't have to be distracted by thinking about any of it. They
yeah.
introduced Peter Parker in and out, done. And I'm like, okay, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's Peter Parker. I don't even know nothing about this guy. This is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I love how they do all of the origins.
Did
I
you also realize, by the way, that it's not that Chris Pine
Yeah.
played Miles universe
Versus
Peter Parker?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't until after the movie when Devin said it.
yeah. I didn't notice it till the credits
But
came up either. I was like, holy crap! It wasn't Jake Johnson
yeah,
doing Peter Parker at that scene.
yeah,
Okay.
which fantastic. Like, thank you, because if it was just Jake Johnson doing both, that would have been awful. That would
Because
have,
he would have had to like change his voice to be like
yeah,
happier and more put together Jake
yeah,
Johnson, which is
yeah,
not as funny
yeah.
as
No,
grumpy Jake Johnson.
no. It just makes sense that a successful Peter Parker would be voiced by Chris Pine. Like that just makes sense. It
Any of
just
the
makes
Chris's, really.
sense. Any of the Chris's. One of the trivia lines for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was Chris Pine voicing Peter Parker. Becomes the fourth Chris to ever portray a character in the Marvel whatever. And I'm like, thanks, IMDb. Like, why? Thanks.
People
Someone
love them. People
submitted
love them
that.
Chris's. People love
Someone
the Chris's.
submitted that as a trivia thing.
Well, Marvel was working very hard to collect. And so what they really need is Chris Hemsworth to be in a Sony Marvel movie
Yes.
because so far, or actually, well, no, Fantastic Four is Fox, isn't it? I never remember
Mhm.
these. Dang it.
I believe
I guess
it
they
is.
need both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, not
This is
to
also
get down the rabbit hole of IMDb
yeah.
trivia. Anyways,
I was actually surprised. So, as someone who doesn't read a ton of Spider-Man comics at all, like I knew just enough about like all of the different Spider people going into this,
yeah.
and even like the ancillary characters, like Kingpin. Everybody knows Kingpin. I don't get to know anything about
Yes.
Kingpin,
Yeah.
but Prowler, like I knew. The most I knew about the Prowler was that, oh, that's the guy that I almost said Danny Glover.
Donald.
Donald Glover, thank you. Because the next one was almost David Glover, who's not a person.
Yeah.
But at Uncle Aaron, that's the guy that Donald Glover is playing in Homecoming.
Which I want to talk about that. But continue
Okay.
your thing.
No, so it was just like the fact that like I had just little bits of information to get into that, and like even with like the joke of going back, that joke of going back and giving you all of the origin stories is perfect because you don't need to know anything more
Mm-hmm.
about those universes than what they give you unless they decide to do more. And now if they decide to do more movies, I mean we know they're going to with Spider-Gwen and then Silk. I think both have something in the works, or
Oh, really?
Silk,
Yeah.
Silk I know Silk does. And I
That
feel like
makes me
Spider-Gwen
incredibly
might also
happy.
be spinning off already. I can't remember,
There is
but
a
I think they're
Silk
working
movie.
on it. Yeah.
First one
So
in
like
line.
I don't need to know more about that universe than what they gave me. I
Yeah,
know
exactly.
Spider-Gwen came from perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me any more than that. I want a full movie of that. I
Yeah.
don't want to know anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you want to talk about with
So it's kind of a rabbit hole what I'm about to bring up, but that's gonna happen
I
when
love rabbits. Let's go.
yes. So after the movie, with everything that happened and all of that, I was still able, like I said, I was still able to say I really, really liked it. It is a way better movie than Spider-Man Homecoming, which you kind of have to compare the two in a way,
Just as like recent, yeah.
just because it's the most recent one. They're very similar stories.
Well, do you know why they're very similar stories?
Well,
There's a reason for that.
well, is it because so like my reasoning is the best thing about Spider-Verse is that it literally takes every piece of media of Spider-Man that everybody knows and throws it in this movie, which is fantastic because that is what the multiverse basically is. Like it
Right.
is cool. Yes, all of this affects this because we are like we all know what Spider-Man is. So,
Right. It was like it's one of the first it's like one of the first superhero movies to finally sit down. I think Deadpool in a way did this too, which is why I think the first Deadpool especially was such a huge hit,
yeah.
and why Once Upon a Deadpool, which I know you've seen recently
Yep.
with Devin because he talked about that, um, is the fact that like these are movies that go we're 20 years into
Yeah.
the modern superhero film at this point. We have to we have to start recognizing that fact, and we have to start recognizing the fact things like we are on our fifth Spider-Man in 20 years.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah. Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
all of these different canons and universes are floating around each other, and we're all being asked to like juggle all of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different origins for the same characters. Like it's cool. And it is my favorite part of that movie because yes, this is exactly what I want a multiverse movie to be. I want you guys to acknowledge that yeah, all of this stuff exists. All of this is canon in this movie.
That's funny enough. That's exactly why the DC Arrowverse stuff is working for me, though in a way that like the movies and stuff don't always do. So they're doing crossover events every year now
Yeah.
with all of the superhero shows, and the one they did this year was Elseworlds, which in a meta narrative, I don't know if Elseworlds started as a comic itself, but it now is the non-canon stories of the DC universe. Elseworlds is the tag that they put on stuff like Gotham by Gaslights is a Elseworlds story, or basically if somebody wants to do something funky and out of canon, they slap Elseworlds on it, and then you can kind of go buck wild with whatever you want to do. And so what Elseworlds did was, first thing was with taking Supergirl and moving her from CBS to the CW, they had kind of created the idea of different Earths to begin with. And it was like, oh, we've got Earth 52, we've got 52 Earths. And then last year was Crisis on Earth X. What? There's a 53rd Earth, and it's all run by Nazis. And now this year it was, screw even that. Now someone is rewriting reality, and we're bringing all of these different things together of like all of these different nods to different DC things. So they go to Gotham and meet Batwoman, and Bane's mask from Dark Knight Rises is there. It's not even like
cool.
one of the old. It's like literally the Tom Hardy Bane
That's
mask.
cool.
And like when they go to Earth 2 to see Superman and Lois, they open up the portal, and they open up with the Smallville opening of the shot over Kansas, and the theme song from Smallville starts playing.
Yeah.
So like they're playing with the idea that they recognize that all of this crazy stuff over like 20 years of TV now has been going on, and they just have to acknowledge it, because if they don't, they just all starts to crumble. If it's like, no, just think of this thing separately from this thing, separately from this thing. Well, no, it's they exist separately
Yeah.
and also together
Yeah.
in the best ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that kind of stuff so much. And it's one of the reasons why Spider-Verse works for me and why I was like slightly able to look past the distractions. Because I was like, this is fantastic that you are bringing up the Sam Raimi films. You are bringing up the video game. You are bringing up all of these comics that exist. Like, you are even incorporating Homecoming. Like, there are little Easter eggs to Homecoming in there. Like, it's so beautifully done too.
And at the same
Um,
time, just bringing in characters like Green Goblin.
yeah,
Bringing in Green Goblin like that,
yes, yeah,
and the only acknowledgement you get is that at some point they both go, "Oh, it's Green Goblin."
yeah,
Otherwise, like it's such a completely different design and character
hmm
from anything that's been on screen
yeah,
before, and yet you instantly go, "Okay, there's Green Goblin."
yeah.
They said it's Green Goblin. He's big and he's
I,
green.
I mean,
That's all I
even
needed.
think of Scorpion too. Like
Yeah,
we have a Latino Scorpion who shows up and is fantastic.
and Doc Ock,
And Doc Ock.
who is just Doc Ock. They
Mm-hmm.
don't even like it's not that she's a sister or a
Yeah.
daughter or
Nope.
anything. It is
In that
she is
universe, she is
this is
Dr.
Doc Ock.
Octavius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's. But so to go back to the whole Homecoming thing is what Spider-Verse did was make me think about that movie, which I mean, yes, it's going to because of what we've just said. But it also like makes me remember how not in love with Homecoming I was. I mean, it's Spider-Man, so yeah, I'm biased against I'm biased for Spider-Man and all that. Anything Spider-Man is I am going to love and enjoy. But thinking about Homecoming again, it's just like there's a lot in that movie that does not work for me.
See, I don't.
And
What's weird is I don't. I liked it. I remember watching it and liking it. I also haven't gone back and watched it.
yeah, no.
Of course, that happens with me in a lot of the
No.
MCU stuff these days. But
It,
I think my going into it was that came out right after Deadpool,
mhm.
and so like that was kind of what my brain was comparing it to, as opposed to the rest of the MCU, where I was like, okay, this is going to be, this is for a younger audience. He's younger. It's for a younger audience. It's going to be much goofier, and also this is kind of their reaction to. Not that they hadn't already been filmed, but like this is coming out at the same time that Deadpool was like, you can be stupid funny
Yeah.
with and still have like a good
Yeah.
superhero movie. And so that was kind of what I went in with it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it's I don't know. I think it's Spider-Verse was what I wanted Homecoming to maybe
to
be
feel like yeah.
It's just like the stuff that I think about from Homecoming is that didn't work. Thinking about it now, just dropping us in the middle of his story and not giving us an origin. Yes, I appreciate that idea, but in that situation it didn't really work for me because you have all this stuff that does not feel Spider-Man to me, at least. To me, Dale Decker, there's a lot with the MCU Spider-Man that does not feel Spider-Man to me. And these include he's not first of all, I'm just going to say this and people are going to get really upset. I do not like the Tony Stark and Peter Parker relationship. I just don't. It does not feel right. It just feels really weird. It feels forced. It feels like, yeah, we needed to do this. The fact that they tied it in and said that the kid from Iron Man 3, I think, is Peter Parker, like that just is like, why?
Did they confirm that? I
Yeah.
feel like that was something a bunch of people said,
No,
but that was never actually confirmed.
I'm like 98% sure that is confirmed by the MCU world. Like that, as soon as I learned that, and I'm like, no, that is so, that feels so forced to me. And it's also, yeah, I understand that he needs this father figure or whatever, blah, 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 but at the same time, the whole thing of Spider-Man is that, yes, he loses. I mean, we learn it in Spider-Verse. The quintessential, like, whoever is the spider person loses someone in their life, and it is rock bottom for them, and then they kind of either become the spider or they tap into their abilities as the spider person, right? Right? We can agree that that is like a trope of all spider
Yes.
stories.
That is the lighthouse that is always there.
Yes. So
That is the yeah.
we never get to see that with the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and we never. It's weird because there's a confidence to Spider-Man and to Spider-Woman and to all of the spiders that exist that I feel the MCU Spider-Man does not have.
See, I feel like they were
And
getting to that in Homecoming.
they do, yeah, no, it happens.
But I think the problem is they get to that in Homecoming, and then
the movie
he
ends.
Yeah, and then he dies in Infinity War. And so it's like, well, crap.
So it's like the whole time, and yes, and I was talking to my friend Joe about this last night, and he was like, well, Happy, Jon Favreau's character is continually being like, no, we don't need you, we don't need you, we don't need you, we don't need you, blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, that's going to weigh on your confidence. And I'm like, okay, fine. But Peter Parker as a person is a confident person as soon as he gets bit by a spider.
Right, or
Like,
even so, like at the very least, whenever he has whenever he's going to do something as Spider-Man, like that is his chance.
Yes.
To be the person that he wants to be, that he's afraid to be as Peter Parker.
Exactly.
Like yeah.
So it's very strange to watch the MCU Spider-Man / Peter Parker be this insecure, insecure person, which I understand why. Like, I understand that he's relatable for a lot of people, but it doesn't feel. I think I want to see more of it. Like, which is crazy that I'm saying that the thing that I don't like, I want to see more of. But the reason why I say that is I want to see a backstory of that insecurity. I want to see, like, him maybe not take on, maybe, like, I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to get at?
I think so. I think a part of it is like
the fact that he never goes up to the love interest, whoever his love interest is, I don't remember her name.
Baby Vulture.
Yeah, Baby Vulture.
Plot
yes,
device.
Plot device. The fact that he never I don't believe that as Spider-Man, as post-bite Peter Parker, he would have never went up to her and been like, "Hey, you're looking at me like you want to do
again,
something?"
Or again, even as Spider-Man, as one of the
Yes.
times he's swinging
Yes.
around, going up to her and either making a comment to her or saying something about hitting on Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Going up to her as Spider-Man and being like, you should give that Peter Parker a chance.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, he saves her and then she starts to fall in love with Spider-Man and, all of this, plot. We need to move this plot along, guys. We need to do something here. A lot of what Homecoming does just feels like we need to do this so we can move this story along. It feels forced, and I don't love that. Whereas everything in Spider-Verse feels really, really natural. It feels like a natural progression. And, he has that father figure in Peter B. Parker, but it's never I think it's how godly he looks at Tony Stark that kind of settles weird with me.
Yeah.
Because he really does. He looks at Tony Stark as a god in a lot of ways. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch Homecoming again. But it just, yeah. A lot of it and I really don't like the trope of bashing on teenagers or treating them like children. And I understand that happens in the world, but show show him overcome that by not hacking into the suit. Like, why does... I hate the scene when they hack into the suit and then it goes haywire. Because...
I honestly don't even remember the scene. That's how much, like,
so it has the baby lock on it. It is baby lock protocol or whatever, but it is specifically, like, called baby protocol. And Peter has Ned hack into a suit so that he can use the gadgets.
Right.
And whatnot. And then later in the movie, like, he realizes, I don't really need gadgets and all of that. Like, it's just all this... It's not trusting teenagers in movies that I don't love. Like, I don't... Like, we just need to crush them in some way, shape, or form, call them a baby, treat them like a child to move this story along that I don't love. And that usually is replaced with, like, a villain or something in a Spider-Man universe, whereas now the villain is Tony Stark, because Tony Stark is the one who is treating him like a child. So how am I supposed to root for this relationship when he continually tells you no and treats you like a child? Why do you idolize that person?
And it's genuinely, like, it also doesn't help that the movie is a sequel to Civil War.
Yeah.
And also Iron Man 4 kind of wrapped into one as well. And so, like, it's expecting you to pull in a lot from the previous films.
And it relies on that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
I'm choking.
I'm so angry I'm choking.
It's not even anger. It's just like, listen, I like Homecoming. There are a lot of great moments in that movie that I will watch 100 times over. But if you place Homecoming and Spider-Verse in front of me, I am going to go to Spider-Verse every time to watch.
Soft focus and headaches be damned.
Yeah. It's just it is a better story. It is a better usage of the Spider-Man character and the world, and it just, and it's just better. It's just a better movie. It just really is a better movie.
I will not argue with that. It is definitely, like, I think right now my top 3 Spider-Man movies are, like, Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man, both from Sam Raimi. I don't know what order those are in. That was not in any order thing, but, like, those are my top 3 as opposed, and then, like, I don't think I've never even seen Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Really? Oh, so good. So good. Okay.
You are the only human being who's ever said this
I'm aware of that. I really like the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I really, really do. I think Andrew Garfield...
I thought the first one was fine. I never had a problem with it.
The second one is so good. I would... See, like, my list would be Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Verse. Not in any specific order. That is just, release date order. But those 3 would be, like, the 3 that I've never seen Spider-Man 3. I want to, but
I want to just because I really want to watch that dance sequence again.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse actually made me want to go back and rewatch Spider-Man 3 just because of the reference to the dance moment.
See, like, for me, I laughed for a different reason than everybody else laughed, because I thought it was a reference to the trophy in the Spider-Man video game, where if you go up to people and snap at them, that's just
trophy. It. That is also what the game is referencing as well.
Exactly.
The game is also just referencing that idea. Yeah. But more importantly, it's the whip higgle. The whip higgle is not a sentence. Hip wiggle is what I meant to say. Yeah. When he's, like, standing outside the building and actually literally dancing, like, that is straight up from the scene from Spider-Man 3. Yeah. The walking and snapping thing is both from Spider-Man 3 and also just, like, a joke of friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and how else do you go be your friendly neighbor but go say hi and shake hands.
Yeah. But it just, I don't know. Those are my 3. Those are my 3 Spider-Man movies. 100%. And I am confident in that answer. Final answer. I also want to say about, the whole Donald Glover being
Oh, yes.
Uncle Aaron. Never put that. First of all, I don't know the character of Prowler. I as much as I know about Spider-Man, I don't know everything. I don't know the character of Prowler.
I didn't either. I just like when
And
there was like all of this talk of Donald Glover playing Miles Morales at one point,
yeah.
and then when he got the character in Homecoming, a bunch of people were like, "Oh, okay, so the character he's playing is actually Miles Morales' uncle, which means that Miles Morales, I can't talk today. Miles might exist in the MCU somewhere then if Aaron is there,
Yeah. Which
and that was kind of
also,
where all that came from.
yeah. I found that out when I was reading the trivia of Spider-Verse. What, because never knew until yesterday or today that Donald Glover's character is supposedly or supposed to be Aaron Davis. Never
It's
knew
because
that.
I think they only ever say his name once in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like in the first scene he shows up, I think they call him Aaron, and that's
Yeah.
it. And there's no
And
other thing.
he references his nephew, which is
Right.
cool. But like
But
it also freaks me out that it scares me that Miles Morales might exist in the MCU because
because of Infinity War, you don't want to think about that.
no, it scares me because of what I've said of Homecoming, like what they did with Peter and Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like it makes me nervous what they could do with Miles.
Well, see, here's kind of the other shaky part of that, which is what I was talking about earlier. A lot of Homecoming is Miles Morales' story that they grafted onto a younger Peter Parker.
Yeah,
It was actually got a ton of criticism for that.
Yeah.
Because like
all
his friend,
the gadgets,
the friend that
Yeah.
well, and even then the friend that
The
hacks
friend.
into the suit for him, that is his roommate
Yeah.
that you meet in Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Like that's the same character and stuff like that, and they just kind of moved them around to Peter Parker because they were like,
Yeah.
because instead of just going with Miles Morales, they were like, no, we want to bring Peter Parker and Spider-Man back from Sony, and it's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
No, bring Miles in. That'd be so much cooler.
Another reason why Homecoming kind of skews me out in situations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that being said, everyone go see Into the Spider-Verse. It was
Yeah.
great.
Very enjoyable.
Nick Cage is having a great year. Yeah, as Spider-Man Noir, and then as I don't know if you've seen anything about Mandy, which is the horror movie that came out earlier this year. You would never watch it.
Nope.
Speaking of bloody, but oh my God, like if there was a movie that was written for Nicolas Cage to go crazy, that is Mandy. Because it's just like it's as simple as his girlfriend gets killed by a cult, and so he goes on the revenge rampage after them.
Jesus.
And so in the middle part to that, when he goes crazy and angry, is just in a very brightly lit orange and yellow bathroom. He just stumbles around in his underwear and a t-shirt, pulls a bottle of vodka out of a cabinet in the bathroom, pulls it out of there, and just starts chugging it and screaming. Just chugging it and screaming over and over for like a good solid 5 minutes. It's very good Nicolas Cage acting.
Well, then.
But then to see him then come in, but to watch that earlier this year and then have him come in as Spider-Man Noir, where he's going to be like a lot more like somber and down to earth, kind of like still over the top, like 1930s noir guy, but he's going to be quieter. So it's like, oh, we got the two best versions of Nicolas Cage this year, of intense, quiet Nicolas Cage. I'm taking the cube with me. It intrigues me.
And then he solves it. Spoilers. Even though he's colorblind. Which again, IMDb trivia. IMDb trivia. Goddamn. There's a reference to Spider-Man Noir. There's a joke that he can't see the colors. This is, of course, because he's from a black and white world. So Spider-Man Noir is colorblind. Shut up.
I like
Shut up!
Beyond that being written out, which is just silly. I love the conceit, though. I love that as a character conceit. That it's not just that he's from a black and white universe.
Yeah.
It is that they all see in black and white too.
Yeah.
So his whole universe could be bright pink for all we know. It's just that they all see in black and white.
Oh man, IMDb trivia. Why? But yeah, no. I look forward to seeing Spider-Verse again and then maybe having more conversation about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I mean, I have one last thing before we wrap up the episode.
Okay.
And that is I've gotten to see Aquaman.
Oh, that's right. Oh, so bad right now. I want to see it so badly.
You should want to see it so badly.
I've heard nothing but good things, which makes me so
Yes.
excited.
Yeah, no. I'm not this because I got to see it early is not going to be me giving you all the spoilers because that would just be a dick move. But basically I was joking afterwards saying best movie of 2018, but like that joke has kind of turned into fact at some points
And
for me.
from what I've heard and from what I've
Um
seen people talk about it, it's very much like the DCEU finally went, let's have some friggin' fun.
yeah.
And like I've seen people comparing it to things like Flash Gordon and Buckaroo Banzai.
Yep.
It's like this is the movie that's or like the Thor Ragnarok of the DCEU where it's coming in. It's like forget dumb grimy stuff. We're here for fun, damn it.
Yeah.
We're here to have fun, and we're not going to stop having fun no matter what.
Yep. It is. Everybody needs to see it. It is so beautifully made and fantastic, and it's just, it's. I loved literally every second of it. From the moment the production studios, like, screens started, I was like, and I'm ready. Let's go.
I actually got that same feeling from Spider-Verse, by the way, when they did the opening and the comic code label popped up.
Yep.
That was my first indication that I was like, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. So Aquaman, I cannot wait to actually talk about it with you, because oh my god, I'm probably gonna see it again. I was ready to see it again, like, in a row. I was ready to go out, buy another ticket, and go back in. I couldn't because it was an Amazon, early screening, but I would have pulled the Power Rangers. I would have pulled the Power Rangers to 2017. It would have happened. That being said, the worst part about it is after the movie, we are walking out towards the lobby, and there is a girl standing with her friend holding a cell phone by a table mount. So, like, the cell phone was connected to a table mount, like a table tripod mount, over the girl, and she was giving her review of it. And she was just like, I had expectations, but, like, I just wanted more. And I'm like, stop. You are the worst. You
First
are
off,
the worst.
It's an Aquaman movie. There's literally
Yeah.
no expectations.
Yes, exactly.
There's no way you can have expectations. It's Aquaman.
And to 100% steal a line from Devin, that is a person who went into this movie and tried to hate it. Mm-hmm. Just, like, so she could get some people to watch her video. Because, oh my god, why? But yeah. That's what I'm gonna leave with this episode with. Is go see Aquaman when it comes out. Be the first person in line. And enjoy it. That's it.
All right. I think that's gonna do it for this week, everybody. It's good to be back. You're right, by the way. I was the one that was gonna break this.
I knew it. I knew you were.
Last week, there's you got one of our version of the very special episode, what we lovingly titled Hot Topic. I believe I do that at the beginning of the episode too, if I remember. I had to go back and listen to see who opened it. And yeah, I definitely sprang that on you as we hit record. Where we talked about actually just review culture in general. That was what we talked about that first time. We also, if you hop over to Say Report Senior, you'll hear our wonderful voices in the second half of their 100th episode.
100 episodes.
Yeah. Oh God. I was like, I'm still going through our old episodes to put them up on YouTube, and the fact that this is episode 38 blows my mind.
Wait, this is episode 38?
Yes, the 39
really?
If you count Hot Topic. Yeah.
Wait.
So
39. So this is.
So this is 38 of the official episodes. We have done 39. Actually, we've done 40 if you count our pilot.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, our backdoor pilot, as we call it. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I knew we were gonna miss the 30th episode.
Oh yeah, no, there was a part of me that was like, let's just aim for 50. I'm not even trying those tens in the middle anymore.
Oh my god.
Like, but yeah, so yes, you can hear us on the second half of the 100th episode over on Say Report. We cannot be more thankful to the two of them for bringing us together and getting this together. And if you want to hear us cry about that, definitely
you
to
can
that last episode.
you can hear all the tears that happen.
Yeah. But otherwise, you can always find us on Twitter at sayreportjr. And you can find us on YouTube if you search Say Report Jr. You can find us individually on Twitter. I am at Zerwisky.
And I am at Dale's Brain.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that means we get to go get ice cream now.
I think so, yeah. So let's do it. Take it away, Liz.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts, Dale Decker and Zach Sarowik. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report. And you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.